Thanks to Chairman DeFazio for calling this hearing. Ranking Member Graves, Chairman Carbajal, members of the committee, before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we at A4A join the entire aviation community in expressing our deepest sympathies for the families and loved ones of the crew members aboard Atlas Air Flight 3591. We also appreciate the opportunity to testify today on the important role infrastructure management plays in addressing the climate change threat. The U.S. airlines have a decidedly strong fuel efficiency and greenhouse gas emissions record that is often overlooked or misstated. Although we drive over 10 million U.S. jobs, 1.5 trillion in economic activity, and 5% of the nation's GDP, we account for only 2% of the nation's greenhouse gas emissions inventory. While this percentage is far less than most sectors, for example, less than the 17 and 28% shares attributed to passenger vehicles and power plants, we take our role in controlling greenhouse gas emissions very seriously. In fact, between 1978 and 2017, the U.S. airlines improved their fuel efficiency by more than 125%, saving over 4.6 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide, equivalent to taking more than 25 million cars off the road each of those years. These numbers are not happenstance. We've achieved this record by developing and deploying technology, operations, and infrastructure advances central to providing safe and vital air transport as efficiently as possible within the constraints of our current air traffic management system. Indeed, for the past several decades, our airlines have invested billions in fuel-saving aircraft and engines, innovative technologies like winglets, cutting-edge flight management software, improved ground operations, and other measures. And I commend you to my written testimony for detailed descriptions of these initiatives, including deployment examples from A4A members. But despite our strong record to date, we are not resting on our laurels. Since 2009, A4A and our members have been active participants in a global aviation coalition that committed to 1.5% annual average fuel efficiencies through 2020, with a goal to achieve carbon neutral growth in international aviation starting in 2021. Further, we're working towards an additional aspirational goal to achieve a 50% net reduction in carbon dioxide emissions in 2050. The initiatives we are taking to meet these goals are designed to responsibly limit our greenhouse gas emissions contribution, while allowing commercial aviation to continue to serve as a key contributor to the U.S. economy. The efforts of our airlines are vital to these innovations, but so too are the public-private research and development partnerships we have with FAA and NASA. In addition to driving further fuel efficiency and emissions savings through improved technology, operations, and infrastructure, we're dedicated to deploying commercially viable, sustainable alternative jet fuel, which could be a game changer. We've made huge strides through our Commercial Aviation Alternative Fuels Initiative, Farm to Fly Initiative, and other programs, such that United Airlines already is taking commercial supply of such fuel at Los Angeles International Airport. And Alaska, FedEx, Southwest, JetBlue, and American all have agreements to support their future deployment of such fuel. Moreover, we support both international aviation greenhouse gas emissions agreements reached in 2016 under the International Civil Aviation Organization. The first of these agreements established a fuel efficiency and carbon dioxide certification standard for future aircraft, while the second represents the first and only market-based measure for greenhouse gas emissions from an individual business sector. The U.S. government played a key leadership role in shaping these agreements, consistent with a mandate under Public Law 112-200. While rejecting the unilateral approach the European Union was taking, that law directed U.S. officials to conduct international negotiations to pursue a global approach to addressing aircraft emissions. The two ICAO agreements, which are intended to be in lieu of unilateral measures, are broadly supported by the aviation industry, and we are we continue to look forward to working with Congress and the administration on their implementation. We're confident that the measures we're taking will reduce aviation's emissions footprint even further, while allowing commercial aviation to continue to provide an invaluable service to our nation and its economy. However, there's a complementary role for the federal government to play. Specifically, we seek support from Congress and the executive branch in 3 key areas. First, business case-based implementation of the next generation air transportation system, NextGen, prioritizing existing equipage. Second, stable policies to further support making sustainable alternative jet fuel commercially viable. And third, continuation and proper funding of aviation, environmental, research and development programs. Again, thank you for the opportunity to testify, and we look forward to working with you on these important issues.
Thank you, Ms. Young. We'll now